Hey everyone, Mark from Goliath Sourcing Academy, and I wanted to record this quick video because on my way into work this morning I was thinking, what can I do to help the Facebook group develop your sourcing skills, your deal packaging skills, in order to help you achieve more success. And the thing that I thought would help you the most was actually to tell you about a couple of the mistakes that I made at the beginning of my journey, which hindered my progress and, made me feel really down, and effectively I did the wrong thing, which affected my results in the short term. So what I wanted to do is just run through that with you, because I'm sure what I'm about to go through will resonate with quite a few of you. So what I'm going to talk about were my first direct mail campaigns. And what I did was I built a list. So I scraped leads off of the portal. So I did properties that had been on the market for more than 3 months. And I also did a list of properties that had been reduced. And what I did was I built this list and I sent out a letter. And if I remember rightly, I think it was probably about 100, maybe about 120 letters that I sent out for my first campaign. I just left work, my budget was tight, I didn't have a big sort of pot of cash to spend thousands on marketing. So I was trying to keep things really tight on budget. So I only sent out about 100, 120 letters, cost me about 50, 60 quid. And I got nothing back. Literally not a sausage, not a single phone call, not a single response to the direct mail letter. Now, what that made me do, and this is something that I'm sure will resonate with a lot of you, is it made me think, oh, direct mail, rubbish, it's not going to work, direct mail's not going to work. So I got distracted. And what I did by being distracted was I started going around trying to find other things. I wrote different letters, and I didn't send the same letter to the same list. I started building another list. I started scraping through the free ads, and I just got down. I got really down about the fact that from my first marketing letter of 100 letters, 120 letters, I had had no response. And what that meant was I got distracted and I didn't focus and I didn't commit to that particular marketing strategy. Now, forward, nearly 3 years now since I set Goliath up, what I've come to realize, and this is the bit that's going to benefit you guys, because I'm 3 years down the journey, and obviously you may well be right at the beginning, is you need to focus on one particular strategy. You need to get a direct mail campaign running, and you need to commit to that direct mail campaign the exact same letter to the exact same list for at least 3 sendings. So you need to send that letter at least 3 times. And I would suggest, and depending on the strategy, but you're generally looking at sort of every 4 or 5 weeks, you send the same letter to the same list. And what you'll find is that your campaigns will get the best results generally on the second and third letters. Now, this is all about building trust, rapport via direct mail. The first letter is likely to be discounted. The second letter might make them prick their ears up, not that they're listening to a letter, but the third letter is the same message from the same person with the same offer, and that is when they might be compelled to give you a quick call. Now, the reality behind this is that the majority of property sources and deal packagers are generally only sending that letter out that one time. And the reason they're doing that is because of exactly the same reasons that I explained why I did it right back at the beginning of my journey. Sources are being pumped out of training courses expecting to get results within their first 2 to 3 weeks. And the reality is they're not. So what happens is then they're moving on with something else, they get distracted, and actually what they do is fall by the wayside. Whereas your letter, because you sent it the second time, the third time, even a fourth time, that is where you're going to start to see the results. So it's going to take you 2, 3, 4 months to start really gathering momentum. But of course, in the meantime, you're going to be doing other lead generation activities. You're not going to rely solely on your direct mail campaigns. But what you are going to do is you're going to focus on one message to one particular list. That list, the bigger the list, the better, of course, because it is a numbers game. But you can play this game with a small budget or a large budget. It just is down to your own personal preference. The more letters you send, the higher chance of a result will be. But the key is a focus message sent to the same list at least 3, if not 4 times, and you will start to see much better results in your marketing. So hopefully that will help you guys get a bit more focus, have a bit more confidence to push through the tough times, because the tough times really are at the beginning of your journey. You are going to sort of find that things feel slow, especially if you've been churned out of a course where they've promised you the world and promised you instant results and that you're going to start seeing results quickly. The reality is you're not, but you are going to build a more consistent, stable sourcing and deal packaging business if you stay disciplined in the marketing approach that you adopt. So hopefully you found that useful. Have an awesome weekend, everyone. And as always, happy sourcing. Take care. See you soon. Bye.